Welcome to the Good Hope Center for this official World Welterweight Title eliminator between Nika Khumalo and Rene Arredondo. And with me at ringside is the World Lightweight Champion, Dingaan Tabela. Dingaan, how do you think this fight might go?
Thanks, Bud. I think this is a great fight for the two boxers because tonight we'll see them in action, Nika Khumalo lost the world title fight, and now also he lost the WBC world title fight. So I think this time they want to bring that reputation back, you see. So I think Nika has prepared very well for this fight because I've been sparring with him, and he showed up very good performance since coming from the world title.
Thank you very much indeed, Dingaan. And now up to the ring for this introductions for this official world title fight. On your screen at the moment is the statistics. You can see Arredondo, 28 years of age, 50 fights, 44 victories, and 39 of those inside the distance on knockouts. He's a banger of the first class, twice a world champion. He held the WBC Junior Welterweight title, 1986, 1987. And we have a very good crowd here this evening. Nika Khumalo, 26 years of age, 31 fights, 27 victories, and 22 of those inside the distance. Khumalo challenged unsuccessfully for the World Welterweight title last year against Manning Galloway. And if he wins here this afternoon, he's in line for a second shot at the title. Nika Khumalo looked very confident in the dressing room this afternoon. With him, Norman Schlabani, his trainer. As Dingaan Tabela has already told you, he's been sparring with Khumalo for this fight, and Nika's looking very sharp indeed. Well, the official introductions are over. Referee calling both men to the center of the ring. Fight is scheduled for 10 rounds. And it's the first official eliminator to be held in South Africa for 4 years. That's since the fight between Brian Mitchell and Alfredo Lane at Sun City, a WBO world title fight. Dingaan, how do you think Nika might start this fight? Do you think he's going to start fast?
Yeah, I think Nika must try and look at the guy because he's dangerous, got dangerous punches, but so he must try and move out and check his man first, and then he'll come back later.
Yeah, this fight could end very quickly indeed if either man connects with a solid punch. Arredondo particularly dangerous with a right hand. He's also got a very good left hook. Round one, fight's underway. And immediately you can see that Arredondo has both a height and reach advantage. Khumalo pushing a left jab to the body, boxing from an upright stance himself. We haven't seen that fast opening attack that many expected from Khumalo. He's sizing up his opponent here in round one. Arredondo pushing out that left jab. He has a reputation of starting slow. His work rate not always that high in the early round. He's more dangerous in the second half of the fight. But he does have a devastating right hand, and it was with that punch that he won the world title. He knocked out Lonnie Smith. That was back in May 1986. Arredondo knocked out Smith in the 5th round. Very much a reconnaissance round, both men sizing each other up here in the opening seconds of the round one.
Nika must try and stop that jab. Arredondo is catching Nika with the jab, and I think Nika must try and stop it.
Yes, Arredondo's reaching Khumalo with that jab. He has got a slightly, well, he's got an advantage in reach and in height. And perhaps Khumalo should try and work on the inside as he's doing that. Arredondo is certainly beginning to find the range with that jab being gone.
Yes, what I'll advise Nika is just, this is still the first round. He's got to pull his man towards the side, you know. Try and he must bring him in. Because this guy is longer, he's taller than Nika. Yes. So he must bring him.
Yes, it's to Khumalo's advantage that the fight be fought at close quarters. Khumalo must get on the inside too. Ready for the He caught Arredondo with a good right to the head, high on the side of the head. And there's the bell, the end of round one.
Oh, that was a very pretty good round for the both boxers.
There we in Khumalo's corner. His trainer, Norman Schlabani, giving him instructions. And here's some replay from round one. Both a sort of feeding out round by both men, but Arredondo using the left jab quite effectively. And there's that right to the head that Khumalo threw just before the bell. And that's Ernest Gallardo, that's trainer of Arredondo, greasing the face of his fighter.
As I said right in the first round, but Nika mustn't go wild in the first round. He studies his men.
Well, he certainly did that, Dingon. He didn't go wild, and let's see what happens in round two. Well, we've seen a little bit of a bob and weave from Khumalo here at the start of the second. Managed to slip beneath that left jab of Arredondo. And there's the left hook. It didn't quite connect from Khumalo, but that's his favorite punch. Well, he's thrown about 3 left hooks so far as Khumalo. Not one has reached Arredondo yet.
And there's an override that always misses Arredondo. I think if Khumalo can get himself well, and then he can catch him.
I think, don't you think it would be wiser for Khumalo to work from behind a left jab rather than throw those left hooks?
Yeah, I think he must also throw his jab, because he doesn't throw his jab, he waits for the big punch.
Khumalo hasn't quite found the range yet here in the second. But he has closed the gap, you'll notice. He's a little closer to Arredondo. Quite clearly he wants to keep this fight on the inside. A good right to the head from Khumalo. That shook Arredondo momentarily.
That's the right I've been telling you about, but if he can come closer, he can catch Arredondo easy, because Arredondo, when he jabs, he leaves his right down, his left down.
No, he's dropping that left hand after he jabs.
Arredondo now starting to scare now.
Yes, in fact, it was when Arredondo lost his title to Roger Mayweather. That was back in November '87. 3 right hands to the head in succession ended the fight. So Arredondo is susceptible to those punches to the head, and he's getting caught yet again. Short punches on the inside to the head.
And Nika's waiting a lot. He must throw his jab. I haven't seen his jab.
Well, he's hardly thrown a left jab, Dingon. He's relied mostly on that left hook and the right cross.
He must open the way by jabbing him so that he must come in, then he can hit that right.
Yes, I'm sure he'd be more effective if he worked from behind the jab. But at least Khumalo has not gone wild. He's fighting a very intelligent fight so far. A controlled fight.
Yeah, he's still collected.
And there's the end of round 2. A good round for Nika Khumalo.
Yeah, that's a good round for Nika Khumalo because he's catching Arredondo with it. Right.
That was a year ago. Arredondo lost a points decision to Julian Benitez. He was dropped twice in the fight, came back to lose on points over 10 rounds, but it was a very close decision. Round 3 coming up, scheduled for 10.
I think Nika has got his rhythm right now, but he must just close up a little bit.
Yes, he certainly has got his rhythm right, and he's also fighting out of a sort of a semi-crouch, a bit of a bob and weave, which I think suits him very well. Good, solid shot to the body. Arredondo not scoring quite as frequently with that left jab now in the third as he did in the round 1. And that's largely because Khumalo is using body sway and bobbing and weaving. A much more difficult target thing now.
Yeah. See, if he uses his jab first, then he can catch him because Arredondo will come with him. He'll come in and then we use the jab and then you can catch him with the right.
Well, he still seems to rely on that left hook rather than the jab. I'm sure that noticeable that we've seen very few right hands from Arredondo, and don't forget that's his dangerous punch. It's a punch which he explodes with a lot of power. He hasn't quite found the range for the blow yet. Arredondo is boxing largely from behind the left jab. He's hardly thrown a right hand yet. He's got it cocked to fire, but he hasn't let it go. And now Khumalo forces him back to the ropes. But there's no damage in that exchange.
I think Nika must just close up before he throws those right hooks and left hooks. He must close up first because this guy is very clever. You know, he goes straight through rubs whenever Nika's trying to throw those hooks.
Yes, and then Don, I noticed that here in round 3, a good right to the head from Khumalo. Very good right hand. That was a lead right and it scored.
Yes, he was a bit closer to him. That's why he could hurt him.
Yes, he needs to close that gap. He closed the gap in round 2, but he's boxing a little further away from Arredondo here in the third. Arredondo threatening to throw the right hand. Still hasn't really unleashed it.
I'm happy because Nika is very awkward for Arredondo because Arredondo can't put Nika on the right trap and the left hook. He can't.
And that's the end of round 3. Another good round for Nika Khumalo.
Yes, Ben, I'm very impressed about Nika Khumalo's performance at the moment.
Did you work out any kind of strategy while you were sparring with Nika? Was there any sort of plan for this fight?
Yeah, we've been sparring together, you know, we've been trying to practice that right trap and the left hook, and I think Nika is making a lot of difficulties for Arredondo because he can't catch him.
Well, here's some replay from the third round. This is a good round for Khumalo. Working on the inside. When he closed the gap, as Dingon said, he needed to close that gap, putting with a good right to the head. And that punch surely shook Arredondo. Arredondo is still boxing largely from behind the jab. We haven't seen much evidence of his right hand yet. Round 4 of this official WBO World Welterweight Title fight between Nika Khumalo and Rene Arredondo of Mexico. Arredondo is the former WBC Junior Welterweight champion. I think that Arredondo needs to pick up the punch rate. I think he's fighting pretty much as we expected. It takes about 5 rounds or so to get into his stride. And now we are in the 4th. Khumalo has established an early lead on our card, and he needs to close that gap to be effective. And he's caught Arredondo with a couple of good, solid rights to the head.
I think if Nika Khumalo can use his jab, he can keep Arredondo busy, you know, because Arredondo is not busy at the moment, and Nika can't get through because he's ready to run away at any time.
Yes, I would like to see more jabs coming from Khumalo. He's thrown one now, and then he went to the body. Through the left jab, right to the head, and then a couple of shots to the body. He needs to do that more often now. Khumalo looks so much better when he boxes from behind that jab. He does have a very good left hook, but he needs the jab to make the opening for him.
What I think it's Arredondo is waiting to counter punch him.
Well, you notice Dingon, he unleashed that right hand for the first time with Arredondo, and it caught Khumalo high on the side of the head.
There's a good one. Very good combination from Nika Khumalo. It's very good combination. If he can try and lead with his jab now, there's a time for his jab.
Well, Khumalo will have to stay cool. One of his weaknesses in the past is he's trying to go a little wild when he has his man in trouble and spray his punches all over the place. Hasn't done that so far here this afternoon. But he needs to work behind the jab. And what a good jab that was, Dingon.
I think he's got a good jab, you know. He just have to use it a lot more.
Khumalo glances through his corner. No doubt Norman Slabani urging him to close that gap and work from behind the jab.
You see if he moves and uses a jab, it looks much more better for him.
And he appears as though he's forced Arredondo onto the back foot. Arredondo's not quite as, his rhythm's been broken, let's put it that way. He's not quite as effective with his own jab. Good right hand to the head from Khumalo as we come to the end of the 4th round.
First, there was the longbow that hit the target but missed the spot. Now there's a new generation. Crossbow. Crisp, fresh tasting. Crossbow cider. Hits the spot every time. Crossbow cider. The thirst buster.
Arredondo has fallen behind on points on our card. But this has happened to him quite often in the past, and the fact that he has scored 39 knockouts and 44 wins is testimony to his punching power. So he can pull the fight out with one punch. This is round 5, scheduled for 10. Oh, what a solid right to the jaw. That was a beauty. Khumalo timed that punch to perfection.
And that's what I want, you know, slip and jab, you know. Because Arredondo jabs first, and then Nika Khumalo can slip and jab.
Well, it looks as though he might be starting to do that now, Dingon.
See, he confuses him when he sleeps and jab. He sleeps his left and then he jabs him.
Well, Khumalo has fought a very controlled fight here this afternoon. Looking very sharp. In fact, in comparison, Arredondo has looked somewhat sluggish. Reaching for Khumalo now with that left hand, but not quite connecting.
You see that right leading him. He leads with the right and leads the left hook. So Nika is making it awkward for him.
He certainly is. Khumalo has found his rhythm and range. Arredondo beginning to miss with that left jab now. Some good work on the inside from Khumalo as Arredondo went off balance.
Nika is waiting a lot now.
Yes,
Should use his jab.
Seems to be waiting for Arredondo to make the first move, and he might be advised to get his punches off first. Good solid right to the head from Khumalo, and you hear the crowd reaction. A roar of approval from the crowd here in the Good-Hope Center. And again, Khumalo drives the Mexican back to the rope, begins to rough him up. Solid right to the head, solid right to the body, and Arredondo's in trouble. Khumalo being urged on by his hometown fans as we come to the end of round 5. Very good round indeed for Nika Khumalo.
Was a pretty good combination from Nika Khumalo.
He certainly seemed to put it together well in round 5, Nika. And Arredondo appeared to be just a little disorganized. Let's take another look at that final barrage of punches. Arredondo went off balance slightly. Khumalo firing the right to the head, following with the left hook. Good solid right to the body. The follow-up right went over the top of Arredondo's head, as did that last punch. And this is the one danger. Khumalo's got to be careful he doesn't go wild on that sort of situation.
Get the body first, yeah. Get the body first, okay? Then you come up, right?
He simply has to keep his cool.
Change and go to the side. Alan is to the right, yes. Jab and go to the side and go to the left.
Well, the Khumalo fans already beginning to celebrate around ringside. But that was the 5th round, 6th round coming up. Fight scheduled for 10. Tremendous atmosphere here in the Good-Hope Center.
See, you can't see the jab, you see, Brad. You can't see the jab.
Yeah, that's a very good jab from Khumalo, and as you say, Dingon, he should work from behind that jab. It knocks back Arredondo's head, leaves him open for the follow-up right. It didn't come that time from Khumalo, but you can expect it any minute.
I think when he hit the jab, he's much more closer than he can hit the right.
Well, I'm sure that's the instructions he's getting from the corner. He's also going to the body. Perhaps he's trying to bring Arredondo's guard down a little lower. Very few punches from Arredondo. That one hurt him, and he's down. Right to the head, did it. And now Khumalo advances. Arredondo slips inside that right to the head. Pushed back by the jab. Another right staggers Arredondo, and yet another. Khumalo pursuing his man. He wants to end this fight here and now. But Arredondo has a lot of experience, smothering some of those punches. Good series of solid jabs coming from Khumalo.
It's a very good jab. It puts Arredondo in an awkward position now.
Yes, he's trying to set up Arredondo.
That's when he can
for
hit
the
the right, because he can hit the right jab and the right, and he can catch him. Hit those combination again. He's closer to him. He can hit the combination. He can put him down again.
Well,
See, when he hits the right, when he hits the jab, he's much more close, and he can hit those combination when he's inside.
He certainly can. But you also notice that Arredondo has slipped inside many of those right hands, and also he's swayed away from the punches. But that one caught him high on the side of the head. Solid punches from Khumalo as they exchange punches against the rope. And it's Khumalo who's on top. Barraging to the bottom. Body. And Arredondo protests. No knockdown. Referee waves him on. This fight has exploded into action here in the 6th round. Again and again, Khumalo catching Arredondo with those rights to the head. Mexican trying to trade. He looks a bit shaky to me. And there's the bell. Well, at least the referee assumes it's the bell. There's so much noise around ringside. I didn't hear it. Did you hear the bell, Dingon?
No, I didn't hear anything myself, you know. I just saw the referee going inside. The atmosphere is very noisy. I think that even two boxers can't even hear the ring.
Well, that was a very good round for Nika Khumalo. Came close to ending the fight. Dropped the Arredondo for a count of 8. Let's have a look in the replay. Khumalo firing rights to the head. Missing with some of those hooks. Arredondo going a bit low with that right hand, but there's a right hand that exploded on the head of Arredondo. That shook him to his boots.
What do you think now, Bet? Arredondo is ready to go now.
He certainly looked very shaky there in the 6th round. And, I'm sure that Khumalo will come out now and try and end it. But he's got to be careful because Arredondo is a noted puncher, and he's pulled out. Oh, the fight is over. The fight is over. Arredondo has retired in his corner. Nika Khumalo has won on a technical knockout in the 7th round. Rene Arredondo fails to answer the bell for the 7th round. And that means that Nika Khumalo will now get a second shot at the World Boxing Organization welterweight title against champion Manning Galloway.
That was a very good win for Nika Khumalo. He showed a lot of potential. He can go back for the world title. I think he's ready. As I told you from the start, I've been sparring with him. He's improved a lot since losing from the world title back.
Well, he certainly fought very well here this afternoon, Dingon. He put it together beautifully, and I think it was just bad luck that robbed him of a clean knockout, but it's a technical knockout, and he's won, and that's the main thing. Great win for Nika Khumalo here before his hometown fans at the Good Hope Centre.
And I think it was a clever decision taken by Arredondo, because I could see he was going. Even his corner could see that he was going. That's why they advised him to quit. It's a good idea for him.
Yes, well, I think his trainer, Ernesto Gallardo, realized that there was no way that Arredondo was going to survive the 7th round, and he retired him in his corner. As you say, Arredondo had been badly hurt in the 6th, so perhaps that came as no surprise.
Yeah, I think he ran away from the knockout. Bad. What do you think of it?
He certainly did. Now here's a replay from the 6th round. There's that big right hand to Arredondo's head. Shook up the Mexican, drove him back. Look how he wobbles as he heads towards the rope. And Khumalo keeps throwing leather. Another right explodes on Arredondo's jaw. There's a left hook. Misses with the right, but Arredondo totally disorganized and about to go down.
That was a very good combination.
Khumalo kept up the pressure. And it was a bell that came to Arredondo's rescue.